Okay, so we learned from our algebra class how to sketch the graph of a function, and we all know that the graph of a function is characterized either as increasing or decreasing, or whether it go downward or upward. So on this video, I will show you how the first and the second derivatives are used as a tool to trace the graph of a given function. So let us consider the function y equals f of x defined by this curve, and from here I'll be assigning points a, b, c, d, and f. And we know that the function is increasing from point A to B, and it's decreasing from B to C, and it continued to increase from C to D, and it's still increasing from point D to E and increasing from point E to F. And we say that the function is increasing on the closed interval x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, x of 4, and x of 4 to x of 6. And the function f is decreasing on the interval x of 2, x of 3. So we say that the function f defined on the interval is increasing on that interval if and only if f of x of 1 is less than f of x of 2 whenever x of 1 is less than x of 2, and it is decreasing whenever the function whenever the function decreases as x increases. It follows that f of x of 1 is greater than f of x of 2 whenever x of 1 is less than x of 2 and x of 1 and x of 2 are on the given interval. And we say that the function is continuous on the closed interval AB and differentiable on the open interval AB. And if f prime of x is greater than 0 for all x in the open interval AB, then f is increasing on the closed interval AB. And on the other hand, f is decreasing on the closed interval AB if f prime of x is less than 0. So the question is, what happened if f prime of x is equal to 0? For instance, at point B and point C, you can draw a horizontal tangent, okay? And we know that whenever you can draw a horizontal tangent, and that is where your f prime of x is equal to 0. So in that case, at point B, f prime of x sub 2 is equal to 0, and at point C, f prime of x sub 3 is also equal to 0. Whenever f prime of x is equal to 0, then you can draw a horizontal tangent, and that is where you can find the relative point of the graph of the function. Okay, so the first derivative test tells us that if we let a function f be continuous at all points of the open interval CB containing the number C, and suppose f prime of x, exists at all points CB except possibly at C, then we can say that C is a relative maximum value whenever f prime of x is greater than 0 for all values of x in some open interval having C as its right end point. So that means when you take a number on the left side of C, and whenever f prime of that number is greater than 0, then the function is then C is a relative maximum value. And if f prime of x is less than 0 for all values of x in some open interval having C as its left endpoint. However, the value C is a relative minimum value whenever f prime of x is less than 0 for all values of x in some open interval having C as its right endpoint, and if f prime of x is greater than 0 for all values of x in some open interval C as its left endpoint, then f has a relative minimum value. Say, for instance, we want to plot the graph of the function defined by f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 9x plus 1. So the first step is to differentiate the function. We look for f prime of x, and that is given by 3x squared minus 12x plus 9. So what are we going to do next is to get the critical number, and that can be done if we let f prime of x equal 0, because earlier we have said that at a relative point, then you can draw a horizontal tangent, and when you can draw a horizontal tangent, that is where your first derivative is equal to 0. So setting f prime of x equals 0, so you have 0 equals 3x squared minus 12x plus 9, and solving for x, we get x equals 3 and x equals 1. Okay, so our critical number are 3 and -1. And then the next thing to do is to look for the critical point. So to look for the critical point, so you just replace x on the given function by 3, and you got 1. And when you replace x by 1, you have 5. So our critical points are 3, 1, and 1, 5. Again, the critical point is obtained when you substitute the values of your x to the original function. Okay, so here we let f of x or f of 3, and that is equal to 1, and f of 1 is equal to 5. And then the next thing to do is to describe the behavior of our curve. So I have here a table which shows how the graph of the function f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 9x plus 1 behave on the Cartesian coordinate system. Whenever you choose a number x less than 1, then f prime of x is positive, and then you say that f is increasing. And when x equals 1, that is one of our critical number, and then f of x equals 5, and you say that f prime of x is equal to 0, and f has a relative maximum value because when you choose a number on the left side of 1, f prime of x is greater than 0, and when you choose a number on the right side of 1, f prime of x is less than 0. And on the interval 1, 3, the value of f prime of x is negative, and therefore the function f is now decreasing. And when x equals 3, f of x equals 1, f prime of x is 0, okay, because it's another critical value. And we can now say that f has a relative minimum value because when you choose a number on the left side of 3, f prime of x is less than 0. And when you take a number on the right side of 3, f prime of x is greater than 0. And finally, whenever you take a number greater than 3, your f prime of x is positive and f is increasing. So we shall now trace the curve f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 9x plus 1 by plotting the critical point 1, 5. So this is your 1, 5. And then we also have 3, 1. So we say that at point 3, 1, x equals 1. So f has a relative maximum value. So which means that the behavior of the curve increases and then it decreases. And then at point 3, 1, the curve decreases and then it increases. So the behavior of the curve will look like this. Okay, so this is your f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 9x plus 1. Okay. Okay, for another characteristics of the graph of the function is its concavity. The concavity will determine whether the function is concave upward and concave downward. Let us take into consideration the point 1, 5. So here you can observe that the function is concave downward because 1, 5 is a relative maximum, and at 3, 1, since 3, 1 is a relative minimum, then the function is concave upward. Okay, again, here the behavior of the curve is concave downward, and on this point, the behavior of the curve is concave upward. So when do we say that the function is concave downward or concave upward? The graph of the function f is said to be concave upward at the point c f of c if f prime of c exists and if there is an open interval I containing c such that for all the values of x not equal to c in the interval, the point x f of x on the graph is above the tangent line to the graph at c f of c. So it's a concave upward whenever the function value is above the tangent line. And it's concave downward if the graph of the function f is said to be concave downward at the point c f of c if f prime of z exists and if there is an open interval I containing c such that for all values of x not equal to c in the interval, the point x f of x on the graph is below the tangent line, to the graph at point c f of c. All right. So here is a theorem which confirms our claims how the function f is concave upward or concave downward. Okay, let f be a function that is differentiable on some open interval containing c. Then if f double prime of c is greater than 0, then the graph of f is concave upward. at C, f of C, and if f double prime of C is less than 0, then the graph of f is concave downward at the point C, f of C. One more, if f double prime of C is greater than 0, then it's concave upward at point C, f of C, and if f double prime of C is less than 0, then the graph of f is concave downward at C, f of C. And the second derivative test will give us the point of inflection. So the point of inflection will determine the sense of concavity of the function. Suppose the function f is differentiable on some open interval containing C, and point C, f of C is a point of inflection of the graph of f, then f double prime of Z exists, and if f double prime of C equals 0. Okay, so whenever the second derivative of the function f is equal to 0, then we can identify the point of inflection. All right, so here, the second derivative test will give us how to easily identify whether the function is relative minimum or relative maximum. Earlier, by the first derivative test, we only identify whether the function is relative minimum or maximum by the point values of by the point values of x, whether on the left or on the right side of C. So here, if we let C be the critical number of a function f at which f prime of Z equals 0, and let f double prime of x exists for all values of x in some open interval containing C, then if f double prime of C is less than 0, then f has a relative maximum value at C, and if f double prime of C is greater than 0, then f has a relative minimum value at C. Once more, if f double prime of C is less than 0, its relative maximum, and if f double prime of Z is greater than 0, then f has a relative minimum value at C. All right, so to summarize, so whenever if the function f of x has a derivative for every values of x, then f of x is increasing at x equals C when f prime of C is positive, and it is decreasing whenever f prime of C is negative, and f of x is maximum at x equals C when f prime of C equals 0, and f prime of x changes sign from positive to negative as x increases through C, and if f double prime of C is negative, and f prime of x or f of x is minimum at x equals C when f prime of C equals 0, and f prime of x changes sign from negative to positive as x increases through C, and if f double prime of C is positive. And f of x is concave upward at x equals C whenever f double prime of C is positive, and it's concave downward whenever f double prime of C is negative. And finally, f of x has a point of inflection at x equals C when f double prime of C equals 0, and f double prime of x changes sign as x increases through C. Okay, let's have some example. Say we want to plot the graph of the function defined by f of x equals x to the 4 plus 4 third x cubed minus 4x squared. So the first step is to differentiate the function f of x. So we have f prime of x equals 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 8x. Let me see again. It's 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 8x. And then second step is to find the critical number. So to look for the critical number, we let f prime of x equal 0. So we have 0 equals 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 8x. And then solving for x, we have x equals 0, x equals negative 2, and x equals 1. So we have three critical numbers here. And then the third step is to find the critical points. Okay, so to look for the critical points, so you consider these values of x, and then you replace x on the original given. So we just replace x by 0. So f of 0 is equal to 0. F of negative 2 is equal to negative 32, negative 32 over 3, and f of 1 is negative 5 thirds. Okay, so we have the critical points. Negative 2, negative 32 over 3. We have 0, 0. And we have 1, negative 5 thirds. And then the next step is to determine the relative points. So we can only determine the relative points whether these points are relative minimum or relative maximum by the second derivative test. So differentiating the first derivative, so we have 12x squared plus 8x minus 8. And then after which we shall replace x here by 0, by negative 2, and by 1. So we shall have f double prime of negative 2. We have 12 times negative 2 squared plus 8 times negative 2 minus 8, and then we got 24. And since 24 is greater than 0, then we say that this negative 2, negative 32 over 3 is a relative minimum point. Okay, the next, f double prime of 0, we have 12 times 0 squared plus 8 times 0 minus 8 is equal to negative 8. And since this is less than 0, then we say that the point 0, 0 is relative maximum point. And finally, we look for f double prime of 1. Sorry for this one, this is 1. So we have 12 times 1 squared plus 8 times 1 minus 8, and I think that is equal to 12. And since 12 is greater than 0, then we say that the point 1, negative 5 term is relative minimum point by confirming it to the theorem that I presented earlier. And then the next step is to get the point of inflection. So to get the point of inflection, so we shall let f double prime of x by 0. So again, f double prime of x is equal to 12 squared plus 8x minus 8. And then we let this to be 0. So we have 0 equals 12x squared plus 8x minus 8. And then you can use different ways on how to find the value of x for solution of quadratic equation. You can use the quadratic formula, and that will give you x equals negative 1 plus or minus square root of 7 over 3. Or that's x equals negative 1.22 and x equals 0.55. And these two values of x are our point of inflection. And then the next step is to smoothly trace the curve. So we say that negative 2, negative 32 over 3 is our relative minimum point, 0, 0 is relative maximum point, and 1, negative 5 term is relative minimum point. And then we trace the curve. So we have negative 2, negative 32 over 3. We have 0, 0. And then we have 1, negative 5 thirds. And we just, since this is relative minimum point, then the function goes downward and it goes upward. So the function decreases and then it increases. So that's concave upward. So here the function increases and decreases. So it's concave downward. Then here at point 1, negative 5 third, the function decreases and it increases. So the function is concave upward. And then we just smoothly trace the curve. And there you go. So this is the function f of x equals x to the 4 plus 4 third x cubed minus 4x squared. Okay, and that can be best described by using this table. Okay, so we consider the critical number and the point of inflection. Whenever x is less than negative 2, f prime of x is negative and f double prime of x is positive. And then we say, since f double prime of x is positive, then the function is concave upward and the function f is increasing. Whenever x is equal to negative 2, f prime of x equals 0, and f double prime of x is positive, and therefore f has relative minimum point and the function is concave upward. And then you can verify it from the graph on the right side. And whenever x is on the interval negative 2, negative 1.22, so f prime of x is positive. By the way, negative 1.22 is one of our point of inflection. F prime of x is positive, f double prime of x is positive, therefore the function is still increasing and it's still concave upward since f double prime of x is positive. And if x equals negative 1.22, f prime of x is positive and f double prime of x is 0, and f is increasing and it's concave upward, and there's a point of inflection here. And whenever on the interval negative 1.22, sorry, this is negative 1.22, less than x less than 0, f prime of x is positive and f double prime is negative, then f is increasing and the function is concave downward since f double prime of x is negative. Whenever x equals 0, f prime of x equals 0, f double prime of x is negative, and if f has relative maximum point and it's concave downward. Again, it's relative maximum point since this is negative and it's concave downward. On the interval x greater than 0 but less than 0.55, again, 0.55 is our point of inflection. Then f prime of x is negative, f double prime of x is negative, then f is decreasing and it's concave downward. And then when we reach x equals 0.55, f prime of x is negative, f double prime of x is 0. Since this is our point of inflection, f is decreasing and concave downward, and we have our point of inflection. And then on the interval 0.55 to 1, we have negative 1, or it's negative for f prime of x. F double prime of x is positive, therefore f is decreasing and concave upward. And whenever x equals 1, then f prime of x is 0, then f double prime of x is positive, and f has relative minimum point and it's concave upward. Relative minimum point because f prime of x is 0 and f double prime of x is positive, and it's concave upward because f double prime of x is positive. And finally, whenever x is greater than 1, f prime of x is positive, f double prime of x is positive, and f is increasing and concave upward since this is positive. And that is confirmed by the graph that we traced earlier. Another one, say we wish to plot the graph of the function defined by f of x equals 2 over x squared plus 3. And then step 1, we get the derivative, and that is given by negative 4x all over x squared plus 3 to the second power. Then you can use the derivative of quotient here. And then step 2, get the critical number, and that can be obtained when you replace f prime of x by 0. So you have 0 equals negative 4x all over the quantity x squared plus 3 squared, and then we solve for x. You see that x equals 0. So you just cross multiply here. So it will now only become 0 equals negative 4x, and that will give you x equals 0. And then the next step is to get the critical point. So whenever x is 0, so you look for f of 0 here. So you have f of 0 equals 2 over 0 squared plus 3. So you have 2/3. So therefore, the critical point is given by 0, 2/3. So this is critical because we do not know yet whether this is relative minimum or relative maximum. So to do that, we will identify whether this point is relative minimum or relative maximum by the second derivative test. So differentiating negative 4x all over x squared plus 3 squared, so you have 12 times the quantity x squared minus 1 all over the quantity x squared plus 3 to the third power. And then you apply the quotient rule. So we now have f double prime of 0 to test whether this is relative minimum or relative maximum. So 12 times 0 squared minus 1 all over the quantity 0 squared plus 3 to the third power. So this is equal to negative 12 all over 3 cubed, that is 27. And that will give you negative 4 over 9 in lowest term. Yeah, that's negative 4 over 9. So therefore, since this is less than 0, we say that the point 0, 2/3 is a relative maximum point. Then the next step is to look for the point of inflection, for the possible point of inflection, and that can be done if we replace f double prime of x by 0. So you have 0 equals 12 times the quantity x squared minus 1 all over x squared plus 3 to the third power. So you cross multiply, so you only have 0 equals 12 times the quantity x squared minus 1, and then you divide this by 12, so you only left with 0 equals x squared minus 1, and then factoring x squared minus 1, you have x plus 1, x minus 1, and therefore, the point of inflection is x equals negative 1 and x equals 1. And then you just now replace x by negative 1, so you have 2 f of 1, I'll write it here, f of negative 1 equals 2 all over negative 1 square plus 3. So you have 2 over 4, and that is 1/2. Okay? And then you do the same for f of 1, and you will obtain 1/2. So you have negative 1/2 and 1/2 to be the point of inflection. And then the next step is to smoothly trace the curve. Remember that 0, 2/3 is a relative maximum point, and negative 1/2 and 1/2 are our points of inflection. So we trace it smoothly. We shall have 0, 2/3. That's our relative maximum. And then we have negative 1/2, positive 1/2. And since this is relative maximum, then the behavior of the curve goes like this, increasing and then decreasing. Okay. And since by the property of this function is asymptotic with respect to the x-axis. Yeah, there's a horizontal asymptote, which is the line y equals 0 or the x-axis, since the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator. So we shall have f of x equals 2 over x squared plus 3 is characterized by this curve.